Hi, you can call me Dozing Bison, and I'm a hobbyist game dev. I primarily make these videos for myself, but if you guys find them interesting, who am I to complain? I have experience from everything, visual novels, game jams, 2D Godot games, even some Roblox games back in the day. Today I'm here working on a new game I have an idea for. Now, it's going to take place in a road cave-in, where there are several characters that have unique personalities and abilities, and you're going to have to lead them on your way to escape. I've been inspired from several playthroughs of other games, for instance Project Zomboid, where despite there not being a clear story, you can create your own story through your actions and interactions with the world. So the first steps with this game is going to be to create an outline and get into Godot and start creating a prototype. Alright, so I've come into Trello, which is the planning software that I use. It has a free plan and it's pretty convenient, so I'd recommend it, even if they aren't sponsoring me quite yet. So what I've done is I've created 4 different nodes, each one with a different component of the game I'm about to make. As far as map creation goes, I'm going to keep it small and concise. My previous game I created many planets and it went a bit out of control, and I'm going to have to keep the scope creep under control for this game, otherwise I may never finish. Now for the next one I have basic NPCs. These are going to be the crux of the game, and they include dialogue, abilities, and a bit of personality too. I'm going to see how I can play around with generation and interactions with each other to kind of create a story as you go along. As far as the player controls and UI go, I'm going to try to keep it as simple as possible because, as I said, scope creep is a major issue when you're building by yourself. So as you can see, the player is just going to have basic movement and interactions with NPCs, and it's going to have a UI including a notebook and profiles for each NPC to help their interactions. Now with that taken care of, let's move this node to the doing list and begin. Alright, so I was going to record and make a time-lapse of this entire map creation process, but I realized it was taking way too long and I didn't feel like recording the whole thing. So you have what you have, I suppose. Hope you enjoy it. Now moving on to the next step, I'm going to describe this table and just show you the general game loop. Actually, I just created this whole section and realized it's extremely boring. It feels like you're in a school. So instead of that, I'm just going to go through a quick rundown. Pretty simple really, they're just escape routes for getting out of the tunnel. To help you choose an escape route, they have different abilities that are unique to different characters. This is a reoccurring thing that happens in most RPGs, including Fallout, which is one of my favorites. Now to spice that up, I added some random spawns and assignments to beef up the game loop. It includes water harvesting, escape progression, and some other stuff. Now I can finally move on to the fun part, which is coding the character creation. So the first step for creating a character is adding a kinematic body 2D to the scene. And looking through this menu, it seems there is no kinematic body 2D. That's nice. I recently updated to Godot 4, which is the newest version of Godot, and I'm sure it's super nice and all these features are very useful, but learning all the differences from the previous versions is finding out to be a real pain. On top of this, there was a massive change to tile maps, which is a main feature used to create maps, as in what I just did in the previous step. Eventually I'm sure I'll get the hang of it, so I'll just create a quick time lapse until then. Alright, I've been working on this game for about a week in total now, and I'm making some pretty good progress, I think. I've got these characters, they're pretty subservient right now. I'll just tell them to go anywhere, and look at that, they walk straight there. Not a single wall that they walked into. Is that impressive or what? Who knew that AI could be so simple? I've also set out a basic UI you can see here. It's pretty simple at the moment, but it sets out a framework that I'm going to add onto with every assignment I add to the game. It feels pretty good to have the basics in order, and at this point I feel like it's a good stopping point and I can work on this devlog. think it'll be a good thing to release this early so that I can get any advice from you guys and see if my game's on the right track. Naturally, feel free to comment and subscribe. I do like subscribers, and see you next time.